Hi!
Hey guys, how are y'all?
This is Mark,
This is Michelle.
and welcome to the This is the Mark and
Michelle
Show.
Right? Like we didn't know what else to say, but apparently we didn't. Anyway, what we're going to talk about tonight is something that every one of us deals with, whether we have autism, Lyme disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. This is something that we all deal with. And what is that? Viruses. We all have viruses in us. We just do, to some extent or another. And one interesting piece of information I learned in advanced genetics was our DNA contains the DNA for retroviruses, things like the HIV virus and the adenovirus. I think that's correct. But other retroviruses, and the DNA doesn't work for those viruses, but it's in there in our DNA nevertheless. But anyway, we thought we'd talk about what Medical Meeting has to say about viruses.
So this
Michelle.
book, this one,
Uh-huh.
got it?
Yep, I got it.
Table of contents.
She's not going to read the whole table of contents. Or maybe she is. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
The hidden epidemic, Epstein-Barr virus, chronic fatigue syndrome, and fibromyalgia. Multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, hypothyroidism, and Hashimoto's.
Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
I said that backwards, didn't I?
Oh, you said hypothyroidism and then Hashimoto's.
Thyroiditis.
Right. That's just part 2 in this book.
Yeah.
Krista, we're talking about viruses. Oh, sorry.
Part 3 is type 2 diabetes and hypoglycemia, adrenal fatigue, candida, migraines, shingles, which are the true cause of colitis, TMJ, diabetic neuropathy, and more.
Shingles is a virus.
Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and autism, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, premenstrual syndrome and menopause, Lyme disease.
Caused by a virus.
So what I'm saying is this book tells you how to heal all of those things.
Mhm.
So we focus on autism, but we can help a lot more people than just autism people.
Mm-hmm.
So
People with autism have viral problems as well. It's what causes bad behaviors, things like biting and hitting and lots of anger, because the viruses are damaging the nerves in the brain and everywhere else. And in fact, dystonia and probably hypotonia as well, those are caused by neural damage caused by viruses. So, all right, she's going to talk about Lyme disease symptoms, right?
right, because
Okay.
I was diagnosed with Lyme when I was like 21,
Mm-hmm.
but I was sick.
Linda Sanders, this is for you.
I was sick before then, though, which reading this book made everything make sense. Lyme disease isn't the result of ticks, parasites, or bacteria. Lyme disease is actually viral, not bacterial or parasitical. How's that?
That shakes your world up, doesn't it?
That shakes the world.
Yep.
Now, I was treated for Lyme with antibiotics for 3 years. My mom was treated for Lyme. She had injected ones. What do you call it? IVs. She had IV antibiotics.
Antibiotics?
Yeah. She was on them much longer and much more hardcore. She's just really sick now.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a bunch of surgeries.
Yeah, since 2000.
I don't know how many she's had now.
Like 9, 10.
And then common triggers for Lyme, mold.
Wow.
Mercury-based dental amalgam fillings. And he says if you have old mercury fillings in your teeth, a well-meaning dentist, wow, I cannot speak.
A well-meaning dentist
may decide to remove them all at once for your safety. That is a mistake.
Agreed. I had one removed and the dentist didn't pay attention, even after I told him I want you to protect me from it, and he forgot or didn't do it, and I had trouble.
Yeah. Mercury in other forms, any source of
Mhm.
mercury is poisonous. Pesticides and herbicides, insecticides in the home. If you have a death in the family, it can trigger it because of all the adrenaline released. Broken heart can do it. Taking care of a sick loved one can do it. A spider bite is a common trigger for Lyme. Now, this is all medical medium. I'm reading. I'm browsing through the book. A bee sting can trigger it. Virus-friendly prescription medications. So, like antibiotics, they thrive on those. So I fed mine, which is why I got worse.
That is true.
The older I got, the worse I got. Hi, Marlo. Overprescribed medications, recreational drug use, financial stress is a trigger.
Stress, it sounds like it's a trigger. Yeah.
Physical injuries, summer swimming, red algae he's talking about. Runoff, heavy metals and other toxins can run off from old land dumps into nearby lakes. Professional carpet cleaning. He talks about how toxic that is. Fresh paint. Insomnia. If you're not sleeping, that can trigger the virus. And a tick bite. While medical communities are wrong in believing ticks cause Lyme, ticks can be triggers for Lyme. Now that was real hard for me to swallow because, I was diagnosed with Lyme and I did have ticks and I had the bullseye rash. And I don't know, I haven't really looked into this. All I know is I feel better than I have since I was 17. Just eating like this.
Yep.
Okay, so Marlo's on. So Marlo, I don't know if you have this book yet.
Show the book.
I'm looking for Hashimoto's 79. We're totally winging it. It's story time. It's bedtime story time.
Yeah, there you go. Give you nightmares.
Okay, it's pretty complex. He talks about healing foods, which would be zinc, spirulina, bladderwrack, chromium, L-tyrosine, ashwagandha, licorice root, eleuthero, I don't know how to say that.
Eleuthero.
Also known as Siberian ginseng. Ooh, there's a lot. Lemon balm, manganese, selenium, vitamin D3, B complex, magnesium, EPA and DHA, Bacopa monnieri.
Supports thyroid.
It supports thyroid
Okay.
hormone production and T4 to T3 conversion. I've never heard of that. Rubidium and copper kills EBV cells and augments the effectiveness of iodine. All right, so I didn't read much about Hashimoto's, but it's in here, Marlo.
Let's see, okay.
The mistaken theory of autoimmune disease is merely a blame game. It points a finger of fault at the patient's own body to distract from the truth that medical research has not yet scratched the surface of what causes thyroid conditions. Over 95% of today's thyroid disorders, that's all of them, including Hashimoto's, stem from a viral infection. The other 5% come from radiation. Yeah.
Show her the book. Or
Well,
maybe she already saw the book.
she knows which book.
Okay.
Right, Marlo, you know. And then there's rheumatoid arthritis, which is viral. And then, so let's talk about it specifically with autism.
Well, EBV. Did you want to talk about that?
PANDAS.
Okay.
He said that was
That was HHV6. That's the human herpes virus 6. Now, according to Medical Medium, there are many more herpes viruses than what medical science or virology knows about, or virology. That's the study of viruses. And I found a paper a month or two ago that shows that HHV6 and HHV7 actually incorporate heavy metals as viruses. They incorporate heavy metals into their DNA, and they need that to continue to replicate. And so in autism, the bad behaviors, or PANDAS as it's called, which is pediatric, can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's associated with strep infections, neurological disorders associated with strep infections. Well, medical medium says PANDAS is not bacterial, it's viral. Well, after I found that paper, I saw in the abstract of this paper, and this paper is almost 25 years old, but the scientific paper said that it's viral neurotoxins that destroy the nerve endings, and the viruses that put out these neurotoxins, these nerve toxins, are HHV6 and HHV7. Well, I realized that if you could get rid of the heavy metals, that's what the article said. The article said if you get rid of your heavy metals, these viruses die because they don't have anything to continue to reproduce. And so these were human herpes viruses. Well, he also talks a lot about shingles and EBV. And I don't know what my viral load was. I know a lot of people like to do, I see we got 4 viewers. Hey, viewers, thanks for being here. A lot of people like to do all kinds of medical tests on their kids to see what they have so they can treat this or treat that or treat whatever. Save your money. Seriously.
Save your money and buy food and supplements.
Exactly. Buy food and supplements that are going to directly treat everything systemically, your entire body all at once, instead of doing thousands of tests or hundreds, whatever they are, dozens of tests. Put that money towards food and supplements.
Well, and medical medium says most of the tests aren't accurate.
Yeah, and knowing about the thyroid test, that the thyroid test hasn't actually been accurate since the 1960s, it's like, what's the point of getting a thyroid test anymore? So
mine always showed normal, and I knew I wasn't okay.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, most people shows normal now, and most people aren't okay. In fact, Marlo, if you've ever had a thyroid hormone test, yours probably showed normal, and you're definitely not okay.
Well, if she has Hashimoto's, it probably is not normal.
Probably not. So, anyway, did you want to read something else?
I'm looking at shingles because that has been a real bad problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
There are classic shingles, which has the rash, the one that we all know.
Right.
There's upper body shingles where a rash appears from the chest, on the upper chest, shoulders or neck, but not on the arms. There's both arm shingles. There's one arm shingles. There's head shingles. There's both legs shingles, vaginal area shingles, affecting only women, obviously. This strain causes a rash that appears outside but near the vagina, between the rectum and vagina, or on the lower buttocks or inside the crotch area. This strain is especially notable because doctors often misdiagnose it as a sexually transmitted herpes. I want you ladies to all know that you have stuff going on that might not be what it is, creating unnecessary emotional pain for tens of thousands of women. The primary way to tell this illness apart is that this strain of the shingles virus causes substantial pain, while genital herpes, i.e. herpes simplex virus 2 or HSV2, is typically less painful. Also, this shingles virus creates pustules and are relatively spread out in the genital area and or lower buttocks, while HSV2 pustules tend to cluster within a small area. Okay, then there are shingles neurotoxins. It is not directly under the skin. What we're experiencing when it gets to the skin is the neurotoxin. The virus actually is deep. It's very deep. So these are the 7 strains. While these 7 strains create nerve damage both on the skin and far below it, that can be quite painful, they're actually the mildest forms of shingles. So he says there are shingles without rashes. Neuralgic shingles, also known as diabetic neuropathy. So that is actually shingles. Maddening itch shingles, where you just itch crazy, that's shingles. Then there's another kind of vaginal shingles. And then there's colitis shingles, arm and leg burning shingles, mouth shingles, TMJ, and Bell's palsy.
Interesting.
Frozen shoulder, which I've had trouble with. I had trouble with TMJ. I have a burning tongue. This is all shingles. Body on fire shingles. That's the one he feels the most sorry for people because the doctors don't know what to do. Guys, this is all treatable. Healing herbs and supplements. Alpha lipoic acid, magnesium, methylsulfonylmethane, that's MSM. B12, the kind that he recommends. EPA and DHA, lobelia, I make the tea. Feverfew, California poppy, licorice root, zinc, L-lysine, selenium, nettle leaf. I also make a nettle leaf tea. So all of this stuff is healable.
Definitely. If you get this book.
Okay, we need to say what this book is for our podcasters. Secrets Behind Chronic and Mystery Illness and How to Finally Heal, Medical Medium.
By Anthony William. This is his first book. And he talks about all the supplements you can get to take to heal all this stuff. And let's see. Hey Tara, how are you? Sarah, how are you? What did she say? Pans. Scroll back.
Oh, sorry.
Pans parent here. Hey Sarah. Okay. Sarah, is PANS the same thing as PANDA or PANDAS?
I think it's different.
Might be different. Okay, we're gonna look it up. But if it has to do with strep and pediatric neurological disorders, I'm gonna go with medical medium and say it's viral because I can still have some PANDAS behaviors if I eat the wrong things, and I have to treat it as if I'm treating a virus.
Pediatric acute onset psychiatric syndrome. I'm going to guess that is viral.
Was it say down there? Streptococcal infections? Yeah. Associated with.
Okay, so real often, medical medium says that strep and viruses are cofactors. And the medical community is only seeing the strep. So you need to treat for viruses.
Right. And treating for viruses, when I have those behaviors, treating for viruses takes care of it. But treating for bacteria, like strep, does not. And I've tested it both ways. And
the problem is viruses damage the nerves.
Yes. And that's why you get the bad behaviors. Yeah. And strep is a bacteria, so it doesn't produce any kind of neurotoxins. Yeah, in fact, this page says
PANS and
PANDAS.
pandas.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah, for letting us know.
Yeah, Sarah, that is definitely viral.
Yes.
No, PANDAS is not strep either.
It's definitely.
Medical medium says it's viral, and we've treated Mark for viruses, and it has changed him.
Yeah, definitely. If you do the viral supplements to kill off viruses, it will change.
Get this book.
Definitely.
Read about viruses. You can also Google medical medium PANDAS. He talks about it there.
He does. Do you have a blog post on that, I think?
Yeah, he's got a whole thing on it.
Or a show on it.
He might even have a show. I don't know.
Okay. We could check that if you would like to see.
If you aren't getting any results out of the treatments you're doing, you are likely dealing with viruses.
Yep.
They are not being treated.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I feel like I'm off my soapbox.
Okay. Are you off your soapbox? All right. Well, guys, we're going to get off our soapbox for tonight. And hey, Arlene, thanks for joining us. And we're going to get off tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
Heavy metal detox smoothie.
Celery juice, which kills viruses.
Yep. Lemon water. Download the book.
Download the book at www.healyourautism.com. Buried Alive, One Man's Journey Out of Autism. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
And remember, we do coaching.
We do.
So
we can help you get. We can help you do
through all
this.
this.
Yep.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.